Dear student, welcome once again in the Gender Mainstreaming in Agroecology class. My name is Musawas Paul Stephen, a lecturer at Mountains of the Moon University. Today, we are focusing on the real theme, gender mainstreaming in agroecology. The previous classes we have focused on were to introduce us to this level. Now, we've looked at the concepts, the theories, the approaches, and the real practice of gender in development by focusing on the historical background of how gender has been promoted and how it is really being integrated in the development world. Now, this training of gender mainstreaming is focusing on agroecology. In your previous trainings of agroecology, you've gone through this concept of agroecology, which you're familiar with. And for us, in this class, we want to integrate it into the real perspective. How is gender mainstreaming being integrated in agroecology? Of course, from our understanding and the discussion I've had, we understand gender basing on the differences between male and female. This is our perspective. We have gotten this either through orientation at home, or in the societies we have grown in, or institutions we are working in. When we talk about gender, we are meaning the difference between male and female. And in our previous discussion, we have looked at it and said, gender mainstreaming, gender differences is either socialized or encouraged in our way of life. So, gender mainstreaming in agroecology, we recognize the different roles in our communities. That means how they affect our relations, how they influence our ways of life, and how they bring community variances. And therefore, our role, our work is to break down those values that bring differences and building up values which promote harmony, cooperation, togetherness, if we are to promote agroecology to its best. We shall look at the power sharing, relations and decision making between male and female. And also we look at the differences in those settings and how we can promote equality and equity if we are to promote agroecology. So integrating the mechanism to manage such issues of differences between male and female, we need to solve the negative powers within us and make constructive values that will focus on achieving transformation in agroecology. So here we're looking at the agroecological system. There are different things within the system. We're looking at the food system, the agroecological systems. We are looking at so many issues here. The ecosystem, the social health. How are males and females participating in promotion of forestry, in the promotion of soil fertility, in the promotion of water conservation, in the promotion of food security, in the promotion of food sovereignty, in the promotion of land management, in the promotion of animal and crop husbandry, where all of them are taking part, are participating equally. How can we have ecosystems health when some group of humans are respected, discriminated, and are not participating. So, in totality, when you talk about agroecology, we are talking about ecosystem health. We are talking about the entire ecological system and how it works, where human beings are included. But if one of the systems is dominant to others, that means there are going to be imbalance. And if not well regulated, one system will lead to the destruction of other systems. So human beings are very key in the ecosystem. Human beings are very key in the ecological systems. And they take more decisions than other creatures. They manage other creatures because other creatures are less intelligent compared to human beings. But even in the human society, we have inequality where males dominate females. And since males take more decisions, control the entire system, so that brings in the inequality between males and females. For example, if you're at household level, in Africa here and in the agricultural societies, we find women are more engaged in agricultural production, especially the food makers. Now, in their participation of promoting food production, they may want to conserve the environment, but they don't have the powers to regulate environmental degradation. If males are the ones who are at the center of degradation, and they have the powers on land ownership, they have the powers to make decisions which species to conserve and which not to conserve, or they don't mind. So by addressing gender in agroecology, we are looking at those power differences, differences in terms of relations, differences in terms of decision making, and promote values that bring equal participation in decision making, equal participation in ownership, equal participation in realizing negative practices that lead to destruction of the environment, destruction of other species, and then promote also how to make decisions to improve the ecosystem health. So gender we look at gender in agriculture. Women participate in decision making on what to produce and what to conserve. Women taking part in policy formation to provide leadership, space for both men and women. Also males taking part on discussing equally in the agricultural development. What are those issues we need to address as humans? Equally, not the other being powerful. We see reducing power inequality and reducing a gap in gender when it comes to gender and food production, and also determining nutrition security and food security. Integrating gender in climate change issues in agriculture. Men and women meet climate stressors together. There's no one who gets more stress than the other. We all share the climatic or environmental stressors differently. So how can we integrate our energies into solving climate change problems if one community or one sector or one sex is more prominent than the other? So climate affects us all, and we need to have men and women participating together in solving problems. So when we look at gender mainstreaming in agriculture, we can focus on gender and agriculture sector development. We look at gender and food, nutrition and security. We integrate gender in climate change issues in agriculture so that we can bring this whole thing together. So the relevance of this gender mainstreaming in agriculture is to help ourselves build a fairer society where all women, all men have an equal opportunity to participate in agroecological practices. We also look at mainstreaming gender to enhance sustainability when we begin projects, and we expect them to have very positive outcomes. In controlling gender-based discrimination and build a society in which all people equally enjoy their rights. In implementing agroecological projects, women can be in the farm, can also be in the gardens. Women can take decisions in giving advice, looking at the expertise they have on how to conserve, on which species need more attention than being looked at as passive participators in the ecological progress. So this is our main focus. You can have more exposure to literature on gender mainstreaming in agriculture and agroecology, and see how different countries, different projects have integrated the gender aspect in the project designs, project implementation, and project evaluations in promoting agroecology and participation of all sexes. So thank you so much for being a good student, participating in this gender mainstreaming in agroecology class. In the next class, which we shall have after this, we shall be again focusing on gender mainstreaming in agroecology. However, we are bringing different issues on table for our discussion. So I meet you after this break, and then we shall discuss gender mainstreaming, focusing on another issue. Thank you for participating, and thank you for listening to me. We meet in another class.